Hello and welcome to LFC Focus. It is post-match reaction showtime after Liverpool have got back to winning ways and returned to the top of the Premier League table with a fantastic, virtually flawless 3-0 win against Bournemouth at Anfield. I don't think any of us could possibly have asked for more from that game. You know, it had goals, it had a clean sheet, solid defensive performance, the midfield looked nice, the team gelled fantastically. They could have scored more, but you know, who's really complaining when you score 3 goals without reply? It was just a very lovely day at the office, and I think it will certainly dispel any doubts about this Liverpool side and any idea that they are feeling the pressure, that fans are feeling the pressure, that the stadium is this cauldron of tension has been totally put to bed with that game and that performance today. You know, that team did not look like a team that was worried, did not look like a team that was crumbling under the weight of the pressure it was putting on itself. It looked like a team that was just enjoying its football and that knew it was as good as it was when we played today. You know, all of the players seemed confident, they seemed alive, they seemed like they were happy to be out on that pitch, and they seemed like they really believed their own hype. You know, there were so many times where they were trying ambitious things, and there were certain players that I'll come on to later that I thought were absolutely fantastic at this, but making passes that are not only difficult to execute, but not even looking before playing them, just thinking, I know my teammate's going to be there because we've done this in training, we've played together often enough, we know how the system works, so I'm just going to pop this pass, break a line, it's going to go through someone's legs, and it's going to find a player running onto it who I haven't even looked to check if they're there. And we did that kind of thing so many times today, and every single time it worked to perfection. Liverpool were just absolutely electric going forward. I mean, all the goals were fantastic. It's a great cross from, I believe it's James Milner for the Sadio Mane goal. Yeah, possible hint of offside. I think his arm is offside, but when you look at where the line is actually drawn on the TV coverage, it shows that Mane's body, any part of him that can actually influence the ball in a legal way, wasn't offside. So I don't think there's any real controversy there, and it's a fantastic header. Don't know how he's getting a header away in the box. I don't know whose fault that is that he's been allowed to do that, but I'm not going to complain, and he keeps it nice and under control and heads it home, which was really nice to see. The second goal from Wijnaldum is a thing of beauty. I mean, you could maybe argue, and also again you could argue this with the first goal, Boruc could maybe do better. I think he just doesn't expect Wijnaldum, you know, a centre midfielder, to try something that audacious in that position when he's got a centre back in front of him bearing down on him and the goalkeeper making the angle nice and tight for him. For him to then just try the chip anyway, just caught Boruc off guard because he's completely flat-footed. He doesn't even jump until it's far too late because it's just such a ridiculous thing for Wijnaldum to even try. Why he doesn't pass, why he doesn't take it down, why he doesn't just try and slide it or smash it, I'll never know, but it was such a brilliant decision to make, and he executed it to absolute perfection, and that essentially was the game killed off from there. You know, Liverpool just looked confident, free-flowing, playing lovely football. I think the midfield in general was a real standout for me in this game, because what I really liked about it was every single player wasn't necessarily playing to their position, but playing to their role in the side, and that's something we know Jurgen Klopp is really big on. It's something we know he looks for when he brings players in. He doesn't bring someone in to play a position in the lineup. He brings someone in to play a role within the team. And what we saw today was that the players weren't sort of thinking, right, I'm the defensive midfielder, and then Wijnaldum thinks, well, I'm the number 8. Keita thinks I'm the link player who plays as a number 10. They were more thinking, okay, this is the kind of things that I'm expected to do, and my teammates are going to do something else, and that's really important. You didn't have 3 midfielders all trying to do the same thing and getting it in each other's way as a result. You have 3 midfielders, one of whom was Fabinho, who was like, right, my job is sit back and defend, make some tackles, track back and drop into the defence occasionally, and also, when needed, drive forward. Wijnaldum was the one who was like, okay, my job is to make overlapping runs with Sadio Mane, occasionally get into the box, a little bit more than we've seen Wijnaldum do in the past, obviously playing in that defensive midfield role mostly this season. We haven't seen that much of him going forward, and I think he took to that slightly more advanced role like a duck to water today. I thought he was absolutely fantastic just in terms of the way he, like I said, overlapped with Mane, made those runs into the box. He was being picked out brilliantly as well, which is such a positive sign. It wasn't just that Wijnaldum was making brilliant runs, it was that every single time, you know, Robertson or whoever it was trying to get balls over the top to him always found him when he was doing it. And then Naby Keita was more about kind of those driving runs, the occasional cute little pass as well. I think the third goal is actually made by him in a sense because he plays such a nice outside of the boot curving pass, and you really need the angle behind him to appreciate how good the pass is, because he doesn't play it straight, he plays it so it gets round the Bournemouth defender and then curves into the path of Roberto Firmino. That is a difficult skill to do. It's really difficult to time to the run of the centre forward that you're trying to get the ball to, and he does it like it's easy, like it's the easiest thing in the world, and it doesn't even take any sort of effort, and he could do it 100 times over without fail. So I thought that was a really positive game from Keita, and it looks like, again, he's starting to finally find his feet a little bit in this Liverpool side, and that shouldn't really come as a surprise because we played a midfield three, and whenever he's played in a midfield three for Liverpool, he's played so much better than how he has done in like the double pivot or a little bit further ahead in the 4-2-3-1. So shouldn't really come as a surprise that he plays well when he's played in his preferred position, essentially. Don't know what's happened there. Oh, it's back. Never mind. But no, it shouldn't come as a surprise, but it was a really good performance from Keita today. And like I said, those three midfielders complemented each other really nicely, and it helps that they all had a fantastic game as well. You know, I was very impressed with what Fabinho was doing, both defensively and offensively as well. I think there were times when he was stepping in and making tackles, making slide tackles as well, which we always love to see. We love a crunching slide tackle where they get all the ball and then a little bit of the man on the way through. That is a proper old-fashioned slide tackle. So it's good to see a few of those. So I really like the midfield today, and I think that's what helped us get the best out of the attack as well, because the attack knew they were getting service. They knew where the service was going to come from, and that's what really pleased me about the game today, was that every single player was on the same wavelength all the way through from minute 1 to minute 90 of that match, and it's something that's been missing over the last couple of games, and also the fact that every single player knew their roles to perfection and no one got in each other's way at any point. Everyone knew what they were doing and what the other players on the pitch were doing as well, and that is where the third goal comes from as well, because it's just fantastic link-up play. I've already mentioned that pass from Keita. He hits it to perfection. Firmino unselfishly just waits and waits for Mo Salah to come in, plays the pass, and then it's a vintage Mo Salah finish. You know, it doesn't matter how many players are around him, doesn't matter where the goalie is, how good the goalie is. If you put him in a position that's that threatening, he is going to score, and he did it absolutely fantastically. So yeah, just a really solid performance from Liverpool. Like I said, it's hard to fault absolutely anything they did today. Great to see Trent Alexander-Arnold back in the side as well. You know, he seemed lively when he came on. He showed us what we've been missing without him as well, while Milner has been a mixed deputy. At times he struggled. Certainly going forward he's been solid. I mean, he gets the assist for the goal today, and obviously assisted Sadio Mane's goal in the game against West Ham on Monday night. So he's been solid in that department, and it remains to be seen just how much the return of Trent will affect. You know, it will hopefully improve our defensive play with him playing at right back now. It's a massive game against Bayern Munich next, so it's always going to be interesting to see how we fared defensively in that one. But yeah, just so many positives from that game. I think if I had to pick a man of the match, I'd probably say Roberto Firmino, just because I think he was everywhere today. You know, he was absolutely fantastic. Whereas in the game against West Ham, he was in a lot of places and he looked good on the ball, but his passing just wasn't quite there. Every single time it didn't come off, it looked like he was trying something too ambitious. He tried the same things today, except they came off, and I think that's just a mark of players really starting to get into their groove. It's around this time last season that the front three suddenly developed this telepathic understanding, that the midfield suddenly just clicked perfectly, and everyone worked out their roles and performed them to perfection on a weekly basis. Last season it was mostly in the Champions League. Obviously this season we've got to do it in even more games, because there are 12 games to go until the end of the Premier League season, and we've got to be at 100% in every single one of them. But hopefully this is the kind of result that Liverpool always need around this stage in the season, where we've had our January/early February slump. It's looked like the team's just kind of lost its way a little bit, and then we always have that win that reminds them who they are, reminds them what they're capable of, and from there on in, fingers crossed, everything is absolutely fine. Because if we carry on playing like that between now and the end of the season, I'm pretty sure we will not comfortably. I'm not going to say comfortably, because I think that's ridiculous, but I'm pretty sure we will win the Premier League title if we carry on performing like we did today. So obviously back at the top of the Premier League, 3 goals, clean sheet, everyone playing fantastically. Trent back in the side as well, Wijnaldum back in the side. What more could you possibly want from a Liverpool game? So that is all for today's video. Thank you guys very much for watching. As always, hit that like button down there if you enjoyed the video. Hit that subscribe button there if you're new around here. Check out some of the other videos that have been out on the channel over the past few days as well. Don't forget to follow at LFC Focus TV on Twitter, and I'll be back probably in quite a while if nothing else happens for the pre-match content for the game against Bayern Munich. Until then, bye for now.